this video, I'm gonna do some CSS battles. So, I have not done this before. I've actually never done this before. Use this CSS battle thing. So, this is actually the first time I'm doing it. And so, the goal here is I have to write lines of code or of CSS styles. And my goal is to recreate this image here using CSS and HTML markup language. So this video is mainly like a typing kind of video. Alright, so let's begin. Watch me code and get this. So I'm trying to make this indigo background. This indigo background over here, and I am trying to first fill this whole background. So okay. By the way, since this is an ASMR formatted video, I'm going to incorporate random tingles with noises as I try and code in CSS. So I don't mean to save. Margin 0, I think. I'm trying to remove this white background. Because there is a white background here, and there is a blue. There is a shade of purple in the square, so okay. I tend to save quite often in my projects, but in this case I just leave it as is. So I don't know why I'm trying to set a margin to have no margin and a padding of 0, so maybe I'm gonna try like an absolute position. Maybe that would fix it. It doesn't fix that, so position of absolutes. Set the left to 0 and right to 0. Yeah, so I've done this background. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and code the blue and the blue section, so I'm gonna try that. So I think I'll have to create another div. In this case, I'm gonna try and create a ring or something, a blue ring. So, a ring here, and this will act as the ring, so, and yeah. And I'm gonna see what I can do, so I'm gonna do a width of, no, here. In this style, I'm gonna do a ring here. And let's see the colors. So background color. Background color will be blue. Okay. I'm gonna set some within pixels, and a height of a pixel. So just do that. Height of 100 pixels. So this one here, I'll have to center it, so that's my goal. So first, let's see, I'm going to do a border radius, and that'll be 50%. That will make the outer circle. And what I'm going to do is try and make an inner ring, so an inner circle, which will have no, which will make the whole of the ring, so. So that will be more tingles here, okay, more tingles. So it's gonna have a outer ring, and it will have, I'm gonna put another circle here. So basically this is like the outer circle, this like, I'm just, whoops, no. I'm basically drawing the outer circle, and I'll have an inner circle right on top of that. So that's the thing I'm trying to do, and it's gonna make it look like a ring. So what I'm gonna try and do is make an inner ring. So in this case, it's gonna probably be around half the width, so actually saved again, okay. So here I am going to let's say try and to set some styles for the inner ring. So I got the outer ring here and an inner ring, so and the goal here is to have styles that I'll put another circle in the center of this big circle, and I'm going to have to make it always in the center regardless on the position of the blue circle. So okay, so in the ring inner, so I'm gonna do a position absolute. Okay, so make it relative to this outer circle and background color, or let's just do widths. Background color, let's say it's gonna be blue. No, I'm gonna be the same color as the background and do the same border radius. I should have had another style that will always set the border radius. So okay, but I'll just maybe optimize that later. So the goal here is to move it to the center. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is set a left top property. Left 50% maybe, I think. No, or left is 25 pixels. Maybe. But I want to set the left white, so 50%. And top 50%. Not that top. Okay. Okay, so and what I'm gonna try and do is basically center it. So the reason why it's like this is because there is an anchor point where this position is set. So like there's an anchor point here at the center. It's like imaginary, and what left and top 50% does in my style is move this anchor point to the center of the outer circle. So I would pretend that there is a outer point here, and that's what I'm gonna try and fix it. So, and I'm gonna try and do something here, and in this case I'll just do a transform dot translate. Basically it offsets it or something. So, and if it offsets the anchor point, so this is what it does. It just shifts it a little bit to fix the offset. So it's really hard to explain, because basically if I just do a left and top by setting the position relative to the outer circle, it's only going to move an anchor point. And by doing this transform.translate, what I'm trying to do is correct the offset of the ring, of the inner circle's position, by moving it a certain amount of itself with this 50%, like move to the left 50% of its size, and upwards by 50% of its size. Okay, so I made this ring, and I feel like this inner circle could have been a bit bigger, so I'm gonna do 75 instead of 50. Or instead of that, maybe 60. Looks like a cat's eye now. And this is much better. This looks much better. So I made one of the 5 rings. And now my goal is to move them all in the center, so around like flowers. So my goal is to duplicate these rings, and I'm gonna name it ring 1, ring 2, ring 3, ring 4, like that. So it's gonna have 2 CSS classes of ring and which ring it is. So yeah, I'm gonna do, let's see, ring 1. And I'm gonna make 2 rings. Let's see if yeah, I duplicated that, so I duplicated that ring, so I feel like I'm going a bit somewhere. Okay. So I yet again saved. I should break this habit right now. So I made it 1 ring, and the second ring is like above, is right on top, because I set those in absolute positions. So okay, now I'm gonna try to see if I can shift the ring to the center. So okay, so individual ring styles. Basically, I'm gonna center it, so what I'm gonna do is maybe try to make one of the side rings. So first I'm gonna do a position. Yeah, so I already did absolute position, so I'm gonna do a set the left to 50% and the top of and a top of 25 or something. Let's see how this goes here. So I've centered this ring here. I'm trying to do this here, and I made one of the centered rings. So, and for some reason, I'm gonna set a set index value down to something high. So like, let's say 5, because I know for the fact that this blue ring will be the center. So will be the topmost. So I'm thinking of layering this image. Like first, I'm thinking of seeing this as layered artwork, where the bottom layer is the background, and then the next layer will be these 4 side rings, and then it's this ring here that's the top layer. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. So first, now I'm gonna make 4 other rings. So like 3 more rings, because I'm gonna try and do this and try and do 3, 4, and 5. So I made all the rings, it's just three of them are on top of this ring, so I'm gonna have to style each of those. And by the way, let's just call this ring 5. The 5th ring will be the last one, so ring 1, the position is let's say yeah, I'm gonna center it, let's say maybe I'm gonna try and see what I can do here. So, and this ring, I'm gonna move it a bit, so transform translates. Maybe that. Yeah, this is getting close. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is trying to match this style to that, so. Just trying to experiment that, so, and I feel like I've just shifted here. I made 2 rings here, so basically add an offset of let's say 60%. So like a 60% additional offset to make the side rings. Okay. Alright. So that's what I'm trying to do. And and now I'm gonna try and repeat for the rings above and below. The second ring, I'm gonna add, it will be shifted to the right a bit, so it may add shifted by 60% to the right from its center, so that will be 10%. Yeah, like 10%, which will be good, yeah. And here, the third ring, do not shift anything to the left, but shift upwards, like 60% from its center, 60% of itself from the center of the screen, so that will be minus here 110. And ring 4 is, the 4th ring will be shift downwards by 10% from its center. So I have made these petals here, but the problem is that I'll have to deal with this box here, so I am going to have to make another class, a div with boxes, so you'll have a class of box and it will have no inner div, so let's call it square. And same thing here. Center square, okay. The center square will be the center square, it will have, let's set a width. Let's set the background color first. I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna set it to that color. By the way, I'm just gonna do a border just for testing. And let's say, and I'm gonna do a width 100 pixels. Whoops. And a height of 100 pixels. So I'll just set the border here so I can see the square. And here I'm going to center it, so once again, absolute position. Left and top, basically that. And I'm gonna now remove the border. And I have a square that's like that, so it almost looks exactly the same, except I'll have to grow it a little bit, so maybe enlarge it by 10 pixels. Almost there. 120 pixels. And lo and behold, I have made the image, so well, that's unfortunate. So this is my HTML and my CSS. I know it's a lot of repeated positional CSS, but I just kind of had to try to style the CSS a little bit differently based on the individual rings. But I could have moved this 50% and a separate class, define a separate class, and I should have defined a separate class in the CSS, like a centered class, and put a centered class so I don't have to keep specifying left 50 and right 50 and top 50. And that will shrink the CSS, the number of lines required, but I don't care anyways, because if I submit, the site won't let me submit unless I pay, so that's unfortunate. So, and with that being said, I have nothing different, and I've completely made the exact image as the one that's expected. And so this is one of the first CSS battle I've done ever, and I declared this battle a victory, which I am happy. And so with that being said, I'm going to leave off with this video. I'm going to conclude. So if you really like this video, and if you got in your ASMR tingles, please drop a like down below. It will be greatly appreciated. Also, if you found out that this video interests you or something, even though you don't know any code, you like the process of me typing, comment down below if you want to see me do more of these battles, because I'm happy to do more CSS battles. And so don't forget, if you found a little item hidden around this video, comment down and I'll comment down the first person who comments, the first one who finds it wins the battle. Well, yeah, and I'll pin the first one who finds this little item. And so stay tuned for the